Hey, how's it going, guys? It's the Jacketing back for another video. So today's video, well, I guess today's second video, is on Crossing Void. So, as I thought, a Wish banner has come out. Now I'm a bit late on this. I think it's been out for like a few days now, right? Um, so it's been out for like 3 or 4 days. And so on this Wish banner, you have obviously this roster of characters, and the two main important characters really are Aiko or Akko, and I think she's called Yookina. Is she called Yookina? Yeah, she's called Yookina, right? So some are Yookina and some are Akko. So these are the most recent summer characters, right? So the first batch was Kirino and Misaka, and now these two were the ones that released I think in June and July. So I did videos on, I think I did a video for both. So I did a summoning video and a showcase for Akko, and I only did a summoning video for Yukina. So yeah, this video is gonna kind of like showcase, I guess, kind of if you are planning on summoning on them, which one to like have as your like main character. So I have both of these characters at S. They're not awakened in any shape or form. So this will kind of be like, maybe I guess it'd be like a free to play showcase of you know, how far a free to play person without like spending money on awakenings and going too deep on these banners, kind of showcasing what they can do, the levels, their skills, etc. Also, do keep in mind, there was just a news announcement that arrived today, basically saying that support Eugeo is coming back soon. So if like Eugeo is a character you love and you want to prioritize your MyGo for Eugeo, definitely go for it. If you want to know more about Eugeo's skills, be sure to... I think I've already done a video on Eugeo, kind of going into Void Expedition, which is pretty much what I do with all these characters, just to kind of show you what their skills can do, what their levels of damage would be, etc, etc, right? So yeah, so let me just go to the characters real quick. So, first of all, I'm going to kind of just show you what level I have them at, so you can kind of get a grasp on how much they're grinded or what the levels are, etc. So depending on how much you invest in the character, vis-a-vis like their talent and their weapon and their equipment, depending on the build of equipment that you take and the support character, like the secondary character you have with them, obviously their stats will differ. But basically I just have like a weapon, right, and you can kind of see your stats. I probably won't be using the skill of the weapon, it's purely just like for a stat boost, right? The talent I have at 220, and you can see her exclusive talent. I probably could increase her talent, but I'm kind of just waiting because I want to increase. So anyway, let's go into her skills real quick. So I did do a which we call it a showcase video, so I'll kind of be brief with what she can do. But if you want to know more and kind of see more of her stats and a more in-depth look at how to use her, what to use her for, where to use her, be sure to go to that video to kind of look. It is kind of not necessarily dated, but obviously I kind of was having more trouble than I do now, like doing videos and kind of organizing. Not to say that I'm good at it now, but I'd like to think I'm at least a bit better now than I was before. So anyway, basically her first skill, she heals, and after using her climax skill, she heals even more. You can kind of pause the video and kind of read what she does, right? But it's pretty much it. Her first climax skill is a massive heal. Basically, it costs 5 points, and after that it turns into a second climax skill which does damage. So it does arcane damage to the front enemy, and it inflicts wet, which I think just makes the enemy take more arcane damage. And then Torrent is basically like her damaging move. It costs 3 skill points, and you can see how much it does. and they take more damage. The enemy takes more damage if they have the wet effect. And the second skill, I guess, is called Spring Gush, and she does arcane damage to the front enemy, and she inflicts wet on them. So basically, how you want to use her is, so she's a healer maybe for the second turn. So for the first turn you attack, then you do the on the, I don't know, like the second turn you'd use her heal maybe, then on the third turn you use her climax skill, and then you'd heal, and then you'd attack, and then you'd heal, so on and so forth, right? And her basic stuff. She does have one cross skill. I will not be using this cross skill. It may be good. I don't think I've ever used it actually. Just because I don't have this character built up. But yeah, you can kind of see what it does. I mean, I guess it does good percent damage. Obviously, if you have her boosted up, she does physical and arcane damage, which is very good to kind of have a mixture of the two, right? So, and her psyche. Obviously, I'm using this psyche, which is purely for her, I think. I'm not exactly sure. Basically, she does more healing. Now, you could put this on, which I think she just does more damage. Psyche damage, and she increased the basic attack. So basically she does more psyche damage when she has 2 stacks of splash. So yeah, very good character. Now if you're a fan of this character, above like Yookina or Eugeo, then definitely summon for that character. After all, this is kind of like a collection game in a way. Unless if you're a very PvP person, then, I mean, PvE you can pretty much beat with any single team in the game, as long as you've got them built up. So if you just prefer that character or that franchise or that series, just go for the character you want, right? So this is Yookina. I'll just kind of show you the stats, same things I did with Arco, and then we'll do like a few matches of purely just showing off their damage and what they do, what they look like. So yeah, this is kind of why I got it built up. Same thing, I won't really be using the weapon, purely just for a stat boost, right? And this is a free to play one as well, so you can easily acquire this weapon. So here's her talent, the levels I've got her at. And I did not explain Arco's exclusive talent, but yeah, either just look it up in the game or go to my video showcasing her as mentioned. So this is her psyche thing. So she receives more healing, right? I don't think it's a general healing. I think it's just her. So basically Arco and Yookina do go quite well together. Like Arco will be healing, Yookina will be receiving more healing. So yeah, her equipment, well, I didn't go with the equipment. Basically it's like the standard thing, like so one character would have alternative fashion and the other one will have poser, and vice versa. It's kind of how I build my teams. So I'll go over her skills. So feel free to like pause it and just like read it. But basically I will just be kind of really quickly going through these skills. Basically she does an AoE that does arcane damage of 162%. After casting it for the first time, she'll basically I think she just adds the buff Shikigami Water, which allows other effects for other skills, and the first turn that she uses this, she'll use up 20% of her HP to maintain it, and every turn after that, whenever her HP is under 10%, the Shikigami will disappear and will not be able to be summoned again. So obviously this is where Shikigami comes into play. So you know, she does like arcane physical damage, etc. And so the loss of the amount of Yukina's HP, this is what's interesting, is it builds up, and depending on if you have Shikigami Water active, she will do more damage based on how much HP she's lost from the buff. Well, I guess you could call it a debuff, but it's kind of a buff, right? So this is kind of an interesting thing, right? So this is, I wouldn't say she's a glass cannon, but she's definitely a character that you're like, okay, you want a healing character with her, because she will lose HP by herself. Excuse me. So yeah, it'll be like one of those things where, you know, first or second turn she'll lose 20% HP. I think it's first, it might be second turn. So second turn she'll lose 20, then third 10, so on and so forth. And you'll be building up this damage. And if you're like healing with maybe like Hatsune Miku or Lifa or even Akko, if you have both characters, then she'll be able to build up her damage. So whenever you do the climax skill, she'll be able to do quite a fair bit of damage. And then let's do her third skill. Basically, she does arcane and physical damage across all enemies, so which is good. And if you do have Shikigami Water, she can heal herself with this skill. So it costs 4 points, so kind of costly, but it's actually alright, right? For a 4 point skill that does an AoE and heals you is fairly good. So I think I've gone through like her skills and that. Obviously, I have not mentioned Elementiums. I don't have them built up. You can kind of like see what her Elementium kind of does real quick. Obviously, there will be like extra buffs. There are some that I like to call them free to play, because you don't use like the awakening things that you like if you're a free to play player. Oh, I don't want to do. If you're a free to play player, you don't want to be using them on like Elementium. I think you kind of want to be using them on awakenings, because that's like, maybe it's not like, or you at least want to do like the first awakening, right? Because the first awakening does unlock a lot of buffs, and I will, at the end of this video, I will just showcase pretty much what they get with their awakenings. But anyway, let's just go into gameplay. So, oh, I don't want to. So what I've decided to do is I'm just gonna have like the standard, like these guys, Kimono, Asana and Lifa, kind of for like healing, proper healing. Not to say that Akko doesn't proper heal, but Lifa's just a very good healer. And Kimono Asana that kind of provides like, I think it's called like frails, or enemies take more damage. And the characters I'll kind of be using as like extras will be like Shimomukuro, Alice and Misaka. I didn't actually show off her cross skills, but her cross skills are for Yookina, that is, are with Miyuki support and Yuki support, right? And I don't actually have those characters built up. So yeah, so anyway, this is Void Expedition. So do keep in mind that we are getting like 7 normal points and 3 climax points as we start the fight. This wouldn't actually happen. This is purely for like a showcase kind of thing. So I'll start off with her attack. So as you can see, it's kind of, you know, a decent damage, right? I'll just do this. She's kind of like a mix of, she's like a character that will do damage, and she's also a character that, so there you can see the water thing just got added. So Akko is kind of like a mixture between like a damage dealer and also a healer, so a very good mix, in my opinion. So she's kind of like base Kirino in that sense, obviously, but Akko has a lot more tools, and I do believe that she just does more damage outright. This is kind of a heal. I mean, you won't really, actually, you know what, I won't actually use her heal this time. I'm going to do Yookina's climax skill. So that was kind of unlucky that we got bleed there, but you can kind of see how much it took off, right? So you saw that it took 4,877, so that's kind of a huge chunk of her HP, but if we were to do this, we would gain half of that back, essentially, pretty much half of that back, right? So we'd gain like 9%, so you know, we lost 20%. So I'm just going to do our climax skill. So yeah, so not the best damage, but obviously do keep in mind that she needs to build up the what's it called, Shikigami water, you know, to like really want to be able to do a lot of damage. So I'm going to use the heal here, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how much. Okay, we're heal. I see she does heal like 1,000 or 2,000, which is definitely good. So I'll just end this fight, and then we'll do, I think I'll just do 1 or 2 more, because I don't want this video to be like half an hour long, right? And it's kind of a bit late to say now, but if you just want to skip to the gameplay, that's completely fine. So yeah, Ako's kind of really a character that you just want to put in the back, potentially, because obviously she's a healer, and most characters would attack the front or the middle enemy. And Yookina could really be a... She could also be a middle. I think Yookina will probably be like middle or a front character. Purely because she does lose a lot of HP, so you kind of want to put her to the side. I guess you'd say she's a glass cannon, really. Simply because she does damage, but she also takes a lot of damage, and most of that damage that she takes is due to herself, right? So here's a situation where we can just first turn do her climax heal. Now this ordinarily you would not be able to do this, you know, just for the heck of it. See, there she did quite a bit more damage, and I think that was because Asana had her lightning flash active, so she takes like pretty much 18% damage extra, so yeah. Now, if you're a person of culture, and if you're really just playing this game for like fun and you're not like trying to have the most optimal PvP, PvE kind of build, right, and you're just like hopping on, like, you just use pretty much anything. If you're a person of culture, you probably would be, if you have all of them, probably be using a full swimsuit team, right? So yeah. I mean, I did try that once, because obviously you got swimsuit Misaka, swimsuit Kirano, and Ako, and obviously Yookina. And I do expect that if this game does go on forward, they will add 2 more beach characters. I'm possibly guessing they do like maybe a beach. See, I'm not exactly sure who the next beach characters would be, right? Because maybe they do maybe another character from Index. They definitely do a Miyuki, because they really like Miyuki, or not Miyuki in specifically. See the amount of damage she did there on her 4, and also she is gaining 9% HP back if she has the Shikigami water. So it's kind of a good, she does fairly good damage, right? But what was I saying? Yeah, so probably, because Irregular Magic High is a very popular franchise, I'm fairly sure, and it makes them a lot of money. So that's why Tatsuya was like the first year anniversary character. But yeah, look at the damage she's doing, right? Even this is like just one character. I mean, 42, considering it's an AoE, so she'll be doing like about 120 highest characters. Pretty good, right? So yeah, I think that's pretty much it, right? I don't want to take too long on this video. So it's kind of like the characters. So to kind of summarize, I guess, go for the character that you want. Say if you prefer Yookina, right? If you think she's like a better waifu, then go for Yookina. If you prefer Akko, then go for Akko. But if you want Best Boy Eugeo, then go for Best Boy Eugeo. He will be coming out, I think he comes out on the 22nd, so that will be Tuesday, next Tuesday, I think. So in about 4 or 5 days. So probably when this disappears, when the wish banner goes away. But yeah, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know, are you going to be summoning for Yookina, Akko, or are you waiting for Eugeo, or potentially a new limited character? And yeah, also leave your thoughts on who you think the next year's summer character is going to be, if there is a next year for Crossing Void. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and as always, watch how you go.